Click on our
Dungeon
intro,
Doomans, Let's
Top
Talk
Simulator,
Lore,
and I've set this
a
thing up.
podcast.
There we go. Hey,
Okay.
So let's do some examples here. Let's pretend like the dragon isn't quite there. Chris, what did you have in mind? I wanted to try to do an example of the engagement factor between fighting, a bunch of zombie hordes and
Right.
then maybe a larger beast.
Right.
So what we're using here, if you are tuning in just right now, is Tabletop Simulator, and I got to fix my thing here since it looks droopy. We're using Tabletop Simulator and some Hero Forge models, and also these are not stolen. Whoever keeps telling me on Instagram that my stuff is stolen, you're a troll, and I appreciate you for the interaction, but these are mods that anyone can use on Tabletop Simulator. So let's just say there are about 20 or so.
Yeah.
All right, we're in the desert. Who are you? Introduce yourself.
Oh, so apparently I am playing a fallen hero, Lone Star, the avatar of Talos, who during his time as a living being, all of his followers were murdered in the story, and so he lost his godhood. Theoretically, I may have played him and tried to gain his following back. We don't know what happened in the town of whatever's up Brock.
Yeah, the town of Brock. He took the king, and long story short, the king has decided he got manipulated to try to spread the word of Talos, and he went on a crusade. Chris didn't know he was going to start a crusade, but he did. And
I was hoping for that. That was my goal.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Right. And Drake is your typical barbarian. He's a real badass. He's been getting stronger and stronger with age and experience, and that's where we are with that. And the two of them have met before on another adventure. So let's just say they're in the desert. They come up to. They come up upon they travel through, there's a big storm, and the storm dies, and all of a sudden they see a little movement, and roll initiative, the zombies come up. Now, instead of, and they see, you see 20 piles of dust to start to, of sand start moving, and all of a sudden there's an arm that pops out, and It turns out that zombies are coming out of the ground.
Right.
Both these characters, I'm assuming, are going to want to sort of defend their turf and fight. So, how do you do it? Now, you could roll one dice after another, which I think, as I said before in the previous session, that it's sort of.
Yeah, you could do you see 30 zombies in front of you. Roll initiative. All right. Drake, you're up. What are you doing? All right. Zombie 3, you're up. It moves 10 feet and it attacks you.
Right.
You could go through it very monotonous and boring, and it's gonna be a slog.
And sometimes, it's maybe. I mean, listen. Maybe you want to do that for some reason to slow the game down. Maybe you're going too fast.
Or you have a bunch of people who are new to their characters, and they just need to be in a space where they can throw a bunch of attacks out and try a bunch of different things, see what works, see how it flows together, and not worry about dying or trying to do something epic or crazy.
Right.
But something else that you can do and that we've done before is not every fight needs to be a fight. A fight can be an encounter. So it's not necessarily just us fighting an initiative trying to knock these people out. It's like what you said, there's a goal.
Right.
Transitioning this from just an initiative tracker counting down to there's something bigger happening.
So let's do this. So our goal is to get
Okay.
into the temple. We see the temple. There's a dust storm, or a sandstorm rather, and all of a sudden the ground starts to shake and all these zombies start popping out. And there's about 20 of them at first. In the background, with
Mm-hmm.
a perception check of a 12, you see other mounds and sand sort of falling to the side, but it's a little bit different than the other zombies, and they come rushing towards you. Now I'd roll initiative. Mine's a
You're
three.
going to be a lot higher than I am.
Mine's actually a 3.
Oh, well, I don't have my dice with me.
Yeah, I got a
For
plus.
some odd reason.
I will. That's okay.
No, well, uh, Lone Star is a -1 dexterity, -1 initiative.
So he's a 12.
So he'll go behind you
Okay, and then the zombies will go.
last.
It'll go. Yeah, the zombie goes last. Okay, so the way I would do this, and the way I would run this as a DM, is Drake is obviously going to rage, and he's going to get 2 attacks. Now I'm going to have it, and I'm going to tell the group, Chris, and
Right.
tell myself, this is going to be a horde, and the way it's going to happen is there's a lot of them. They're going to have one turn, and they're going to have they're going to be able to attack you depending on what you're doing, with advantage or disadvantage, and your hit points are going to or you don't even have to tell them, but we're going to use the hit points to kill multiple of them. So I would say
Like
maybe two,
a
maybe
swarm.
right, maybe so 2 or 3
Right.
hit points each, and that would be the death of them. And if you
Right.
want to make it more epic, it could be 1. So I'm going to take my axe out, and I'm going to attack them, and I got a 19, and that's 32. 32 to hit, and obviously
Okay.
that hits the swarm. And how much damage are we doing? We're going to do 12 damage. So this guy, he takes his battle axe and he smashes, and then you say, Drake, describe killing 4 of these. He charges up
Yeah.
front, and he stands in front of Lone Star, and he kills 1, 2, 3, 4, smashing their heads into their bodies, like that game in the circus that you go to, the whack-a-mole.
The whack-a-mole.
And then Lone Star is going to.
Lone Star is going to see Drake's. Well, and this is how I like to play. I'll always describe what I'm doing before just saying I'm going to rage, I'm going to go swing. I'm going to describe how my character is in the moment. So I would often say, I see Drake flying through there, knocking out a bunch of zombies, and I know I want to get over towards that path. So I'm going to yell to Drake, I'll clear the way, you follow me through, and then I'll take my wand out or my wrench out, and I'll cast a shatter spell right here. Oh, where's my thing?
That's Drake
right
saying,
here.
Yes.
And it'll knock out all of these people or it'll hit it'll hit that cluster of zombies, and I'll do whatever, however much damage that is, and I'll do 12 thunder damage and throw all of them 10 feet away from that spot.
So we'll say that 4 of them sort of just how do they fall apart. Their bodies just fall apart, explode.
Well, everything from here just sort of poofs out to the side, left to right, creates a little hole.
The damage you dealt pushes them backwards, and they are prone into the ground. It's Zombie's turn.
I'll rush forward and yell back to Drake. I cleared the way. Follow me. I got this.
Drake is going to still be raged and looking, but it's a zombie's turn. And as you run, now here's the thing: we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These zombies are just their turn as a DM to make this fast. These guys are going to be knocked down, and they're going to roll, and they do pass. I just did a simple 20 roll, and I got a 10. They're going to stand up, but they're still going to be sort of knocked out, so they're not going to attack. These guys are going to attack, and on a roll, let's just say it's 16 plus whatever. I'm assuming that'll hit both of us. Yeah. So 16. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times, and now that's so much. But I would just say, you know,
that this brings up a great point of difficulty for an encounter.
right,
You talk about um, not everything has to be strictly by the books. Like not all 11 zombies have to make an attack on us. So
right,
it could be that at any point in the swarm of the horde, each player could only be attacked strictly by a couple attacks, so 3
right.
attacks or something. That goes into the planning of the encounter and setting the difficulty of like what is a reasonable amount of damage for one character to take. How hard do you want this encounter to be?
Right.
And that can dictate how much of a slog it is or how fast it goes.
And
So and that you can play with all the numbers there, like making the minions a lot less, or making your beefy guys so that it takes them a couple rounds to get through them.
right. So what's happening here? You running forward, I'm standing there.
Yeah,
They're going to have, I would just say on average, you're going to have 12 of them, and half of them are going to hit, right? So
right,
you're going to take, like, I don't know, 15 slashing damage divided between the two of
right.
you. So
Yeah,
let's just say 8 slashing damage each. And the type of damage is funny because, you're running, you're moving, and you're getting ready to move, and you're whipping. These
yeah,
zombies aren't going to be, they might bite you, but most likely they're going to be slashing.
yeah,
So you take some slashing
yeah.
damage. Ow. Zombies' turn. Now
Mm,
it's the end of the round. Now that was a
right.
that was a pretty quick round. To make things more intense, that group that you had seen, the desert mounds,
The
turns out to
mounds,
be more
more zombies.
more zombies. Um,
Yeah,
and now there's twice as many zombies. What is it that you do? It's Drake's turn. Drake's in raging form. He just said he was going to
right.
follow Lone Star. He runs up and he does another thing. And let's just say, you roll it out, and he
Yeah,
attacks and he does the same amount of damage, and he does
right,
five damage.
right.
At which point, now we're experienced and we're just sort of going quick because we want to make our point here.
Yeah.
Um, it's Lone Stars. Now he was saying, "Follow me." Your goal. What's the goal? Our goal was to get to the
Goes
to
to
the
temple.
temple. And you look around. Where's the temple, Chris? DM.
It's
Now as a DM, you know that like you're. I'm just going to start putting more and more zombies. So
right.
where's the temple?
The temple's over beyond the other side of the zombies over there.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll see that, or yeah, what's Drake doing? Kill some zombies. Oh shit! Sorry, we gotta go the other way, and I'll run over this way and cast a thunder wave, trying to clear space.
All right.
It's turned it from it's not just a slog of beat all these people up. It's we have a goal. I don't care about these zombies; they're gonna keep coming,
Right.
but we have to get out of there.
And then
And I love the layer action or the change of the scene every round.
yes.
It almost forces the players to stay engaged of what's happening in the moment.
And I think to go on to your point, I think not every turn, but to every 2 turns, there should be a little something. Environment,
Mm.
the town's burning, the smoke thing we talked about earlier, or
Yeah,
an NPC comes running out of a building, or
a
um,
spell goes stray and blows up something.
or maybe the big bad comes.
Yep.
And so you run, and you say, "Oh God, let's get out of here, and let's just turn the group around, and let's just say,
Run back.
you see the temple, and you run this way,
Yeah.
and the zombies, as you run, the zombies sort of follow you, and stop. Why are they stopped? You turn around
Mm.
as you're walking, or maybe you outrun the zombies, and they're zombie and mindless, and they roll.
Or as we start to outrun the zombie, something else bigger and
Right,
darker starts to follow you
right. So we
and lands in
outrun
front.
we outrun the zombies. The zombies rolled a 6 on, I guess it would be
Yeah.
intelligence. They failed, and so they sort of just start walking the desert.
They're tripping in the sand.
Right. And we're finally, after an hour of walking towards this large monument, we come up to uh, our temple, and we
Right.
see a lot of blood. Chris, you roll your perception check. But a passive perception will just show you that there's a lot of fresh blood, and
Yeah.
there's a tent and a temple, and
Hmm.
there's something moving in the distance, and it seems to be a large creature.
Yeah. So, and this is something that's happening in our current campaign right now. The players see an enemy and they're going to want to jump it. And this is something I love. Let the players plan the shit out of this, because it's time that you get to hear their thought process,
Right.
hear those cool strategies, throw an input to help encourage them to do the stupid crazy thing that they really want to do but are hesitant to do it because they think they're going to die, and they probably will, but give them the encouragement they need to do that.
Right.
And it's time that they're all talking, they're all engaged, trying to come up with this cool thing. And like what you guys are doing is every single player is doing something in this plan, in this prep.
Yeah, it was very funny. Take the immovable
The
rod
movable rod.
immovable rod and put it on an arrow and shoot it into the sky. That was funny. Okay, so you see this. So your goal, remember, the goal
Mm-hmm.
is to get in. Now you see this, and all of a sudden, this large black horned dragon uh, comes out towards you. Now he knows you're there because he has uh, whatever
Because he's
that's,
a dragon.
because he's a dragon. Who goes there? Present yourself. Now the dragon has his own goals.
Right.
Doesn't always have to be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes there? Drake sort of looks over at Lone Star. I think you should take this on.
Well, okay. Lone Star is the worst character to have here because I want to play Lone Star the way I played him in our campaign, and in that moment, it's just me giving this guy as much crap as possible until he attacks us.
Right.
But if I was Rena, my first NPC on or my first player character in our campaign, uh, we're here to explore the temple, Grand Dragon. We don't want any harm, any danger. Um, we just wish to pass. Is there a toll that we must pay?
Well, there is a slight there's a toll. You see, I'm feared, but I seem to be a friendly giant. I'm a very friendly giant dragon. And Chris, give me a. You know what? He's going to roll charisma, and the dragon's going to roll. He gets a 2. Plus his thing is probably a 6 or 7.
Okay.
Chris, against your charisma, or would it be against your intelligence?
Uh, Hooray! An 18. Say that.
Okay, so you see this dragon, and you know he's trying. That's so good that it's so different. It's so far away from the 6 that he rolled that you see that there's mounds of fresh flesh and body parts in front of this dragon. You see the dragon has dripping with blood, and you put 2 and 2 together and know this guy is lying to you. And but now that you know he's lying, what do you do? You know he says yes. There is something. Of course, there's something you can offer me for a pass into the temple. Why don't you come closer and present any sort of magic item that you may or may not have? I'd like to know. Search your items for a specific trinket of mine. Now you rolled your charisma intelligence to
Yeah.
know that he's lying.
Right. Well, here's a very normal situation where, say, if it was Lone Star who would have had that conversation, we would have see Drake. No, Drake is gonna just want to butcher this guy as soon as he knows what's going on,
Yeah.
and say, Drake, you should get angry and go show this guy what your sword looks like.
And
as I try to persuade Drake to go rush in there on his own, I'll prepare to follow him up.
So at that point, I would say, as a dungeon master, you'd roll initiative, but you'd give the players a turn first. Because they're going to sort of, because you are going in and saying, okay, so you're sort of obliging him, but you're saying, Drake, you should crush this guy.
And something else that I love to do for situations like this is roll initiative early and let it play out and have that initiative as a framework if you need it. So, all right, roll initiative. All right, Drake walks up, and then Lone Star starts following up with him. And then when something actually happens, it's like, okay, do your attack. Let's go right into it. So there's not that big delay of like, oh, I want to punch him. All right, let's all take 10 minutes to get everything sorted and then come into it.
So Drake's going to rage. Drake's going to attack. Now, you remember your goal is to get inside that temple. You don't know what happens inside the temple, but that's ultimately the goal. Drake's going to rage. He's going to attack. 15. What is this guy's? This guy's armor class is 19, but I still think that hits. Plus 13. Yeah, that hits. And so Drake is gonna hit this guy for 22. He's gonna hit him again because he's raging. That hits. So he hits him for a bunch. And he's gonna use his other thing, which gives him a third attack. So he hits him for 63 points. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a barbarian.
And the dragon, unbeknownst to you, has just taken a lot of damage. Now, this dragon also doesn't have to come into the battle at full health.
Right. Yeah.
So another thing about big bads is that what have they been doing? They're on a desert. They're hungry. Maybe they're thirsty too. Maybe they're exhausted.
Maybe someone else got there before you did, and they just finished resting from beating them up.
Dragon, Lone Star, you're up. What would you do?
Yeah, so Lone Star would rush in and say cast what's it have? Booming Blade, go swing his fist coming through his gauntlet. Where's my attack? Let me show my attack. Damn, Booming Blade. Nope, wrong thing. Where is it? Hooray, D&D Beyond.
This is the perfect example.
Yeah, it's a perfect example
of when you're not prepared for the fight. And what can you do? Well, the dragon is just sitting there. You can also describe dragon is.
So I'm running through, and I have my gauntlet starts vibrating, and as I run through, I miss him with my 12, and I will just keep running by towards the temple.
So
he's distracted with Drake, so I whiffed on my attack, so I'm just going to keep running.
So Dragon's going to go. Dragon's going to shoot a 5-foot wide acid breath at each creature in the line of sight, which is Drake. Drake must make a dex saving throw. Am I going to kill Drake?
He has advantage.
He's got advantage, 22, and a 16, and the acid breath was a 18. So he takes half. So he's going to take, and you don't always have to roll your dice. If you want to, I like rolling dice, but you can always take your average to speed things up as well, just like with the zombie horde. And he's going to take 27 hit points. In which case he is now, wow, it turns out that on D&D Beyond, Drake's current hit point was 27. 27. Damage. Yeah, so but
Drake goes down.
But I think he actually has a feat where if he's 0.
Oh yeah, he comes back up to 1.
Yeah. So if he's raged, I think he comes back up to 1.
No, I think normally because he's orc or half orc or
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay. So Drake is fucked up. Part of my French, and
Nope.
it's his turn, and he's going to double dash to the temple.
He sees
But
Lone
he
Star
has
running
to.
by and says, "Fuck that."
Yeah. Now you could, as a DM, be like, okay, there's going to be an attack of opportunity. The attack of opportunity, he's going to hit Drake, but let's just say there isn't because now you've reached a temple, and it turns out it's Lone Star's turn. Do you go into the temple? Do you try to get up there? Do you help Drake get up there?
I'll run over and start pushing Drake inside the door of the temple, and then try and close and bar it so this dragon can't get us.
And then they realize that the temple is a sacred place and the dragon can't enter. And so it turns out that the dragon is some sort of safe keeper of the temple, and you can hear him in the footprints outside, and yada yada yada. So that was a very quick tutorial, I'd say, if you will, on fighting a large beast, but also encountering a large number of zombies, like a horde. And I think that one, being prepared isn't always just knowing what your guy's going to do, because everything changes in the fight too. So you have to be able to move, be fluid with it, and that's the best type of combat, because it'll get very boring if Lone Star and I were at max health trying to chop this guy down. It might work because we're at high levels. I mean, my guy's at level 9. Your guy was at level 10 or whatever.
8. It was 8.
So even that, I just did 60 damage to this guy in one turn.
Yeah.
But again, dragon can do legendary actions and whatnot. So
yeah,
I think that the takeaway here with a big guy is you don't always have to kill the big guy. It's going to be awesome when you do, like when we killed that purple worm recently.
Yeah.
You might be rewarded, but the storyline and the engagement actually thrives on the urgency of the combat, and that can come from just surviving, accomplishing your goal, or indeed killing the guy. Maybe you're sent there to kill him. I don't know.
One last tip that just popped into my head for all these combats is before you, or every turn in combat, it always feels like you're handing that DM position over just for a moment to the player for them to interact and do something crazy in the world. And before you do that handover, give a little lead in of describe what just happened around that player and saying, yeah, this guy's here, give them a feel and idea of what's happening around them, to allow them opportunity to engage with the scene, the environment, with the dragon, the horde, the zombie, or whatever's around, other players around. You see your fellow player fall down right near you, or drop in bits of lore or guide to the goal. Like you said, you see the temple up ahead, and the door is slightly ajar. You can lead the players with information that you want right before you drop it into their turn.
Right.
And that can help draw them into a space where you might have had something planned but didn't quite get to it.
I wish I had known some of these things in prior sessions, because I mean, God bless you guys. You guys stayed true, and yes, a 2.5 hour campaign night turned into a 4-hour one. But you know what? It was great. It was great for me.
We had fun.
Yeah, a lot of math. I hate math. It's terrible.
But in the end, it's a game, and you're there to have fun with friends. Right. And if you're having fun and it's taken 4.5 hours, and you're all okay with it, then so be it.
Yeah.
If it's taken long and you're all not having fun because it's slow and something is bad, something is just lagging on and on and on, then definitely try and find a way to make it more engaging, more interactive, maybe shorter. Maybe the group that you're with doesn't like as much combat. It doesn't really flow too well to have as much combat. So maybe the campaign shifts a little.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we can try we did a puzzle one too before. Sometimes puzzles are talk slowing down.
Well,
Holy hell.
there's never a wrong time for another session 0. To be like, hey, we just had that combat and it was horrible.
This is what.
So let's sit down and talk about this.
Yeah, go through the rules, the special suggestions, try them out. I mean, what the hell?
Yep.
So you don't have to stick to it each one, but.
Well, and the other nice little thing, one last little tidbit before we run off, is it's one thing that some friends have done is have what's called, or what I like to call it, a danger room, like what we're doing right here. Everyone get it, bring your whole group together and say, all right, I'm going to throw some monsters on the board. Let's just fight and get the mechanics down and play around with it, so we're not stressed in an active fight during the campaign of let's figure out what we're doing, so that everyone can talk. So it could be someone's turn of like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here, and we can give suggestions in a way that's not taking over their character in combat, but engaging in a way to help them understand and become smoother with how they play.
Yeah, I completely agree. And with that, let's take one last look at this beautiful tabletop simulator. Look at that dragon, huh? Huh?
Ah, beautiful.
Well, listen. If you learned something, if you didn't, if you enjoyed, if you just liked what you were saying, roll high, subscribe, new Instagram live, follow, enjoy. We'll be back next time. I guess that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.